You're watching MontyTV. I'm Jacki Karsh, joined now by Marwan Forzley. He's the CEO of Veem, which is a simple way of moving money across borders for small businesses. All right, Marwan, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I love this idea because everyone is now comfortable with Venmo. Everyone is now comfortable with PayPal. It was only a matter of time before businesses got in on it. So when did you realize that this was a good idea?
We really wanted to simplify the way money moves around the world. It's kind of like came up with a very simple vision that when you go to buy coffee in the morning, you don't think of how you pay, you just do it. And so when you're moving money around the world, it's really complex and it's based on old-fashioned infrastructure. And we wanted to really simplify it. We wanted to bring something modern and a different experience to the user. So the consumer market, there's a number of solutions in the market. We wanted to have something for small business because they tend to be treated different than consumers. You know, small business is not consumer, it's not enterprise, and they need something that's very dedicated to them. That's where we came up with this idea.
It takes a while, though, for people to actually trust this kind of technology.
So we're regulated in the US. We work with the regulatory bodies in Europe. So we have to make sure that we adhere to all the standards required by all the various states. And that part of it makes sure that the customer is comfortable because somebody else is watching your back and making sure that you're moving money properly. We also spend a lot of time tracking the payments and reporting that to the user so that the user is comfortable with what's happening to their money. That's all elements of building trust with the user.
Why do you think it was so complicated before and almost there's a beauty in your simplicity?
Yeah, if you look at the way it's done today, it's all on bank wire. And the thing about bank wire, you have to do so much work to do that wire. So if you're a business here, you have to collect a whole bunch of information on the receiver, you fill this wire form, then you go to the bank. Sometimes you can do it online, sometimes you have to show up and do it in person.
And you got to do it on a day a bank is open.
And you have to do it before cutoff times, because if you miss your cutoff time, you have to wait for the next day to make it. So all that creates friction, and on top you got to figure out the foreign exchange rates and wire initiation fees and all that stuff. And so we wanted to basically get rid of that experience, simplify it, dumb it down to a single step. So now what you do is you log in, you enter the email address, you enter the amount of money, and you're done. It goes from very complex, a lot of work to move money, to something you can do anytime, any day, just from your device.
If someone is transferring money via you have to be secure for them. So how are you making sure that your networks are secure?
So we're always watching to make sure that we're not storing any sensitive personal information about the customer in our database, and we're not carrying any amount of money for any substantial period of time. So money is kind of like a switch. Money is in and out of the platform.
So no escrow.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not holding a balance for you. We're making sure that it's in and out all the time. And whenever we have your bank account information, it's all encrypted so that even if you have access to the database, you don't see anything on it.
Humans are not flawless. Sometimes we make a mistake. We put one too many zeros or too few zeros. How do you rectify that? Because I know in some other forms of payment, it's once you send it, it's gone.
We're always checking to make sure that the payment that you're sending out is matching against an invoice. So if you have an invoice that's $10,000 and you made a mistake and you send us $100,000, we look at that and say, oh, well, that doesn't match the invoice you're trying to make. So what we do is we get back to you and say, hey, thanks for the 100,000, it's very nice, but we actually only need 10,000 and here's the remaining 90,000, we refund that back to you.
I love that. Okay, thank you so much, Marwan.
Nice meeting you, thank you.